All right, class, this is our Spanish history of South America and of Central America. I forgot to add that in there. But this is going to be our history of this region. They share the same cultural past because of the Spanish conquering this area. So we're going to go through and look at some key information. We're going to copy down everything you see. You're going to need to write small. We're going to start with some vocab words and then work our way down through our notes. You remember you're going to have the left side and the right side to write in everything. So you have 2 pages to get everything in there. So write small enough to where it's all going to fit. First thing we have is vocabulary. All right, vocabulary. Make sure that you get all these words down. We have exploration, where we're exploring new lands that have not been identified yet. Colonization, settling into new lands that you have just discovered, quote unquote. The Reconquista, Spanish for reconquering a territory, and conquistador, Spanish for a conqueror or explorer. I added the Reconquista just because when Columbus started to sell out, it was right after this time period in Spanish history, and I thought it was just a good word to have. So, why did the Spanish become explorers? The Spanish wanted to become explorers from our reps yesterday, the religious, the economic, the political, and social reasons, and the 3 G's: God, gold, and glory. Also, they wanted to increase the power and prestige of Spain around the world. This is just reverting back to yesterday and discussing some of the stuff that we had. Um, so, exploration facts. Spain wanted the resources, especially access to the spices in East Asia. When Columbus discovered the quote unquote New World, which is the Caribbean today, it began the Spanish wanting to come to the area and explore for riches. They're going to, remember, Columbus is going to go from Spain and he's going to go west and run into the Caribbean islands when he's really trying to make it all the way here. Thought the world was a lot smaller than it really was in 1492. The Spanish are going to conquer modern day Florida, Texas, Southwest United States, Central America, the Caribbean, and most of South America. The Treaty of Tordesillas is going to split the world between Spain and Portugal, the 2 big powers at the time. And that's how Portugal gained Brazil, and why today, over here in Brazil, people still speak Portuguese. 2 of the conquistadors that we're going to talk about. The first one is Hernando Cortez, and he's going to arrive in modern day Mexico to the stories of riches of the Aztecs. He's going to hear all these great riches that these people have, the great cities that they've built, and he's going to go through there and try to find them. When the Spanish arrive, their metal armor and horses make them look like gods, and there was a prophecy going around that the Spanish were expecting a god to come back, and he fit the time period, and so Cortez was welcome in. They're going to be welcomed into the city of Tenochtitlan, capital of the Aztecs. And eventually, with better weapons and having horses, Cortez and the Spanish were able to defeat the Aztecs and now control the area of Mexico. Also gained the gold of the region. So they're going to be very successful conquistadors. The other one that we like to talk about is Pizarro. Pizarro is another Spanish explorer or conquistador that came in and conquered South America by force too. Pizarro was the conquistador that conquered the Incas. He kidnapped the leader of the Incas and demanded payment for his return, a 15-foot by 7-foot building room filled with gold. He got it, then he asked for more gold, got that, and then asked for it to be filled a third time with silver, and got that. Once he realized they had all this rich, they ended up killing the leader, and then brought in the Spanish reinforcements and took over the Inca Empire. And once they did that, Spain controlled the 2 major empires of the New World and were able to really hold everything from then on. Following the conquest of the Spanish, we're going to have colonization. So once they conquered everything, they're going to colonize the area. Once the Spanish defeated the various tribes of Central and South America, they colonized the area or took it over and ruled it. What the Spanish did, when the Spanish did this, they influenced the culture or brought culture traits. Spanish language, except in Brazil, where they're Portuguese, so everybody else speaks Spanish. Spanish dress, wearing Spanish clothes. They're going to change what everybody looks like, the cultural change that way. And then change the religion to Christianity and focus on Roman Catholicism. So they're going to have that. So this is our religious, this is our social issues that we had. Politically, they're going to rule the area. And economically, they're going to control all the gold and silver. So just bringing in that stuff from yesterday. Next, this is our last slide we have information for. Another thing the Spanish did is they're the ones to introduce Africans in as slaves, which increased their workforce tremendously. They tried to use the Native Americans, but the smallpox outbreak and a lot of the other diseases they brought over started killing the population off tremendously. Then they realized that their work ethic was a little bit different because they're going to work when they need to work and then relax when they needed to relax. It really drove the Spanish nuts. So what they're going to do is they're going to start bringing in the African slaves, and because of the temperature and weather being similar, it worked out well as far as being a workforce. The areas of Central and South America contain more slaves overall than North America, and it's shown in the cultures of the regions today. Now, what I need you to do, I need you to fold that paper, the right side in half again, and make sure you have your I learned statement. We'll go through the rest of the statements once everybody's finished. While you're waiting for everybody to finish, I want you, in your journal, to complete a newspaper article talking about the victory of Cortez over the Aztecs, or Pizarro over the Incas. If the article is not completed in class, it becomes homework. The newspaper article is going to have these things, and I'll have them typed up again on Edmodo. You're going to write a headline, which is short to the point. 1 to 2 paragraphs that explain your event: who, what, where, when, why, and how. Sorry for the bell. And then include a photograph with a caption. So it must be drawn and colored, and have a little caption or a little saying what's going on in the picture. Okay? So you have all these things to get done, so let's get them done.